Welcome to the Page by Page Book Club. I'm your host, Paige in Print, and I bring you weekly book club meetings wherever you get your podcasts. Welcome back, y'all. I am really excited for this episode. Last week, we did a currently incomplete series recommendation podcast episode, which was so much fun. And kind of getting to talk about series that are currently in the middle of being released. So if you missed that episode, be sure to hop back and listen to that. But if starting and finishing a series all in one go is more of your jam, this episode's for you. I am really excited to be talking about some of my favorite complete series by some of my favorite authors. I gotta say, a lot of my favorite series as of late have been wrapping up. Like, they've been coming to an end, and so I have a lot of series that I can talk to you guys about. We're also going to be diving in quite a bit into people's backlists, so lock in for that. If you know some frequent flyers here at the Page by Page Book Club, I'm going to kind of be going back into the archives with some of these authors, so get excited for that. I hope you had an amazing Valentine's Day. I hope you're having fun watching the Olympics. This episode's being recorded and released around that time. If you're listening later, hello from the past. And without further ado, I say let's dive into some complete series. I'm taking a look around my shelves right now as I do, and I don't even know where to start, man. Okay, that's a lie. I do know where to start. I am so excited. In early March, I'm going to have the opportunity to be in conversation with Maggie Gates, and so I feel like we need to start with Maggie. I am currently in the middle of reading the Poker Club series by Maggie Gates, which we discussed at the beginning of the month for my reading recap episode. It is an interconnected series. They cannot be read as standalones, following a group, like a friend group, who get together every Monday night for Poker Club. These stories are raw and real and messy and lovely and entertaining and engaging, and there's just something about this series that when I'm actively reading it, it's all I can think about. The characters feel like close personal friends of mine, which I absolutely love, and I feel like that's really a strength of Maggie's. So I'm really excited to dive into the last two books. Maggie herself actually commented on the podcast clip about it and said, "So glad you're reading. Be sure to have book 6 ready when you read book 5. So it sounds like I'm going to be on the edge of my seat. And I love to be on the edge of my seat. But I'd have to say my favorite series from Maggie is the Falls Creek series, which we haven't talked about Falls Creek in a while, and that's a crime. 3-book series following first responders in Falls Creek. It's such a fun one. The first one's a engagement of convenience between a police officer and a flight nurse, and she saves him. No. I guess saves him's not the right phrasing, but she is a responder to an accident that he's in, and life flights him to the hospital after he's hurt in an accident on duty, and while he's in his unwell state is like, oh my gosh, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, but he's not like that when he's in his normal state. And so anyway, they end up, through a unfortunate series of events for him, entering into an engagement of convenience, and also it allows her to have a place to live. But now that I've read Poker Club, our FMC is actually a side character in Poker Club. So I love the full circle moments there. Maggie's universe is so beautifully interconnected. So you are guaranteed to see people you love from her backlist, no matter what you're reading, which is so fun. That's book 1. Book 2 is it's age gap, like a pretty large age gap. She's in her early 20s, he's in his mid 30s, I believe. He's a police officer, another side character from the Poker Club series. Little nod there. And then she has a chronic illness, and it has affected her entire life, and so she has kind of felt set back in life in many ways because of her chronic illness. And he ends up teaching her stuff. And they get snowed in together, and it's really swoony. She's an artist. She's a teacher and an artist. He's a firefighter. And so there's some fun, like, art scenes, paint scenes. Yeah, love that one. And then if you've been around, you know how I feel about What Saves Us by Maggie Gates. Oh my gosh, he's an EMT. He's been in love with her for years, and he helps deliver her baby. It's not his. And amidst the postpartum process, he really shows up for her in the most beautiful way. And he's like, I'm confident that you can take care of baby, so I'm going to take care of you. And I just think that that's so beautiful. So love Falls Creek by Maggie. Also love The Griffith Brothers by Maggie, which is a cowboy romance series set in Texas. So the options are really endless with Maggie's backlist. If you go to her Instagram, she has a really fun like Easter egg like checklist to like what order to read her books for optimal Easter eggage, which I think is so fun. So if you want to go on a journey, might I suggest Maggie Gates as that journey? I loved it. So check out Maggie Gates. I also really, really, really love. I'm looking at Devaney. We're another gal with really significant backlist power here. And we haven't talked about the Clifton Forge series in far too long. It is a disbanded motorcycle club and its members. And there's this mystery that follows throughout the series. So every book ends not on a cliffhanger, I would say, but there are elements to the mystery that are still yet to be uncovered. It's really angsty. The suspense is really great. The characters are rough around the edges, specifically the MMCs, which I really enjoy. And it's just classic Devaney Perry. So if you have read some of her more recent stuff but haven't gone back to read Clifton Forge, you really are missing out. Also, hidden gem for Devaney, I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about the Treasure State Wildcat series. I am talking about it a lot, I know. So don't worry, we're getting it covered here. But I feel like it needs more coverage. It's a little underrated. It's a college football series. And I've talked about this every time I talk about Treasure State, but it's an important note. And one of the cooler elements of the series is the first 3 books, at least, and slightly the 4th, are all on the almost identical timelines. And so you're getting to see moments from each of the other stories in all the other books. Like, there's a scene between the characters from book 1 and book 3, like they're all in a conference room, and you get that scene in both books from all the perspectives. Like, it's so fun. And so all of the things and side quests that you hear about in book 1, you get to see unfold in real time in the next books. So that's one of the cooler things about Treasure State. The Edens. Y'all know we love the Edens. While we're talking about Devaney, romantic suspense perfection, small town perfection, just one of the all-time greats in my opinion when it comes to small town romance. Devaney. Oh, and have y'all seen the new covers for that, by the way? Oh, get it on my shelf right now. If you haven't seen the new covers for The Edens by Devaney Perry, run. Pull over to the side of the road, stop cooking. If you're on a walk, pause, pull them up. You have to see them. They're stunning, drop dead gorgeous. Can't wait to have those babies on my shelf. Can't wait. Shall we continue on romantic suspense? We can't talk about romantic suspense without talking about my queen, Samantha Young. There's just something about her Scottish suspense, which actually missed opportunity because last episode I did not talk about the Scottish Isles series, and I absolutely should have. So, Samantha, I'm so sorry, queen. I love you. So sorry about that. Read the Scottish Isles because there's only one book out. But if you read the Scottish Isles series, the first book, and you're like, oh, I can't wait for the next one, fear not. She has a 9-book, 2-series, interconnected saga set in the Highlands of Scotland, in Ardnach. And the first series is called The Adaires, and it follows all the Adair siblings. And then the second is all the Adair family siblings, like friends. And that's called the Highland series. So that's 9 books right there of just good old Scottish suspense. Samantha does a really beautiful job writing suspense. And I've talked about this a lot, but I actually found Samantha through Catherine Cowles because I read Catherine Cowles' I read Lost and Found and Tattered and Torn, which don't worry, we're going to get to them. I read those back to back, loved them. And I went to Catherine's Instagram. This was like before I even had Bookstagram. And I was like, okay, well, now what? And she just happened to be doing a Q&A at that time and happened to suggest Samantha Young for romantic suspense recommendations. And to that we say, thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Catherine. What would I do without you? Where would I be if you hadn't introduced me to Samantha Young? And if I hadn't read your books, let's be for real. So that's that. And speaking of segues, we got to talk about Catherine. Catherine has a really, really beautifully dense backlist of really great suspense. And she has her past 3 completed series are just, you could just read them back to back to back. I mean, that is 16 books that you could just binge and have a great time with. My introduction into her was the Lost and Found series, which is Whispers of You, Echoes of You, Glimmers of You, Shadows of You, Ashes of You. I think I did that off the top of my head. And to me, like, what a perfect introduction. It was my introduction to Catherine, introduction to the romantic suspense genre. It's just complete and total perfection, and it follows a family. So if you love series that follow a family, this is for you. It's classic suspense. But when I think about just suspense at its finest, all of Catherine's stuff is phenomenal, but there's something about the Tattered and Torn series that is just, it's unreal. It's unreal. And what I love about the Tattered and Torn series is that it is set in a small town that is kind of adjacent to a religious cult. And how the town and the people and our main characters interact with that. One of the FMCs in the 3rd book, I believe, escapes the cult. The FMC from the 1st book, her dad was a part of it. So it's like, wow. That one's just so different, I think. And then Sparrow Falls. Sparrow Falls is Sparrow Falls. It is just the perfect adoptive family, the group of foster siblings, their found family that they have built together. Just the suspense, the way the series unfolds with all of the side characters, like, man. So, in conclusion to this section of me just talking about Catherine, if you have not read her, what are you doing? If you haven't read Catherine, what are you doing? And this is making me think, I'm like, do we need Catherine on the pod? Wouldn't that be a dream come true? Let's get Catherine on the pod one day. Anyway, okay. Would love that. That's kind of my little suspense wrap up for completed series. I'm looking at my shelves. Tilly H. Colson's Men of Clarence County is complete. For another suspense, if you're in the market for that. Oh, The Bourbon Boys, Victoria Wilder. We have, of course, Our Bourbon Distilling Brothers, set in Fiasco, Kentucky. And it's so good. The way I want to see the Bourbon Boys on my television, like, that series is just like, to me, that's TV gold. It needs to be on the big screen. It's got to be on the big screen. It's just the suspense, the character development, the brothers, how many times will I say it on the podcast? No one writes an FMC like Victoria Wilder. They are just so strong, independent, yet sensitive and emotionally intelligent. Like, man, an FMC written by Victoria, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. I think my favorite FMC, aside from Lainey Young, because y'all know how I feel about Lainey Young from Bourbon and Lies, is G from Hide and Peak. She's in Witness Protection as well. Both of Victoria's gals in Witness Protection have a special place in my heart. And the Riggs Family series also was my introduction into Victoria, and if you haven't read it yet, come on. If you're waiting for Whiskey Women from Victoria, on the edge of your seat, just needing something to hold you over, go back in her backlist and read The Rigs. It's another small town. I'd say Hidden Peak has the most suspense in it out of all of them, but they all have some angst. All of the conflict is pretty driving throughout the plot, which we love to see. So yeah, classic Victoria writing. But if you're only going to pick one, it's got to be Hidden Peak. You can read it as a standalone. I recommend the whole series, but Hidden Peak, Roman Empire for me. Roman Empire. So good. Gonna wrap out this romantic suspense section, I think, with a little bit of chatter about the Redemption Ranch series by the one, the only, Lena Hendricks. Speaking of witness protection, it's our Mafia Cowboy series, which I read late last year and loved, as you all know. It is a bunch of people and federal agents on a cattle ranch in Montana, and it is a place for people in witness protection to go and kind of live their lives without having to live their lives out of safe houses, and it gives them a bit of a purpose while still having their protection. And man, that series, the audiobooks are so good, like so good, and the series itself, chef's kiss. Like, what a chef's kiss. Be sure to check that out. And then, of course, if we're talking Lena, we got to talk about the Out of Towner series, which are both the Sullivan and King's family series. They're rival families set in the same town, and the Sullivans come first, and you kind of get to know the Kings as their rivals. And then book 4 of that, one of the brothers from the Sullivans ends up being friends with and then having an accidental pregnancy with one of the Kings. And by the way, the rivalry's like years back. Like, the rivalry's been happening. Like, she's a years long, like decades, generations old rivalry. But this happens and it kind of forces them together. And then throughout the King's family series, you kind of end up watching these rivals become a big found family. It's really special. Lena did something really special here. And be sure to keep your eye out in stores starting in March for the King's Family series on shelves. It's re-releasing traditionally with Kensington, so we clap and cheer for that. Love. Love, love, love. I am currently in the middle of reading the Carrington Cove series by Harlow James. It is complete, and I'm just making my way through it. I'm just blasting through it. I'm having so much fun. It's really fun, conflict-driven, small-town romance with some really just like strong FMCs and swoony MMCs, and it's found family and standard regular family, which is really fun. And Carrington Cove is a vacation spot. It's a tourist town, similar to Out of Towner, coastal tourist town. But the people who are born and raised there, everyone's up in each other's business, which we love to see in a small town romance. I always have a fun time with like the town gossip and how that goes. But yeah, I'm loving it so far. I'm on book 3, having a blast. So the audios are really, really great too. I have the vinyls, actually, the audiobook vinyls. Yeah, you heard that right. Harlow has the coolest merch, and she has little vinyls. Well, they're not little. They are the smaller vinyls. But anyway, she has vinyls, and on them, one side is the first kiss, and the other side is the first, you know what. But it's shelf trophies for audiobook listeners. So if you're an audiobook girly, definitely listen to that series and then get yourself an audiobook shelf trophy. It's so much fun. Love that. Harlow, you're crushing it. I'm having so much fun reading that series. What else? Oh, okay. I have to say, I've read a lot of Corinne Michaels. I have. And we know I love Corinne Michaels, but there is something about Help Me Remember, Give Me Love, and Keep This Promise that is just, it's next level. It's another romantic suspense. Oh, it's the Rose Canyon series. I was looking it up as I went. I learned from last episode, so just keep talking and then I'll find it. So the suspense throughout the series continues. It's similar to Clifton Forge, but I would say you really will want to read the full series to truly feel concluded about the suspense on this one. But the first book is like brother's best friend. She has amnesia and can't remember that they were even ever together. And he's not allowed to jog her memory, which is just like, oh, the angst. And then Help Give Me Love is a marriage of convenience, but it's also second chance because they're still technically married. They got married while they were both in the military and never got divorced, but she's back in town and they're having to like continue to be in this marriage of convenience, which is wild. And then we have Keep This Promise, which is Secret Baby, but they had a one night stand in Vegas and like didn't even know each other's names, and then she has now come to him for protection after a very complicated situation with her daughter. So yeah, it's just wild. It's so wild. And I have to say, I think that's my favorite Corinne series. We are getting ready and gearing up for a brand new series from her, Heartstone Ranch. Many are asking, Paige, have you read it? I have. And they're saying, Paige, is it as good as the cover is? And I have to say, it's even better than the cover, which I know is saying a lot if you've missed the cover reveal for West of Forever by Corinne Michaels. Like, it's my top favorite cover of all time. I've never seen anything more beautiful. I'm obsessed with them. The artist on that, Emma, is so unbelievably talented. So, again, pull over to the side of the road. Stop your walk. If you're making dinner, just put the spatula down. Stop stirring. Take a look. Look it up. Okay. Love it. That's my Corinne Michaels rant, because Corinne has such an extensive backlist. It's like, look, all those ladies, I'm talking Corinne, Laura, Melanie, they just have such a beautifully extensive backlog. Catherine, all of them. So if you love one of their series, you're going to love the rest. Yep, you just got to say it. You got to say it. So, love that. We got to talk about the Windy City series by Liz Tomforty. I won't go into it too much. I know it's very commonplace, but we love Windy City. Claps and cheers for Windy City. If you haven't read that one yet, it's a fan favorite for a reason. It is just sports, found family, perfection. Speaking of sports, though, Lakes hockey. Sloan St. James. We talked about it a few episodes ago, so I won't go too far into it. You just got to listen to a lot of the episodes, and then you'll just kind of know our secret language, you and me. You just got to keep up with it. But if you're looking for spicy hockey romance, Sloan's your gal. If you're less of a spice gal, perhaps not. Sloan is a creative girly, right? So, anyway, keep that in mind. What else do I have for you? Kay Cove has a beautiful backlist. A lot of her stuff is in progress right now, but I will say she has finished Camera Shy, I would say, is her biggest book, and it is so good. It's it's well known for a reason, but what many people don't know is that there's 2 more books in that series. It's the Lessons in Love series. There's 2 more books. Yes. So if you love Camera Shy, check out Snapshot and Selfie. More billionaires set in Vegas, which is like a fun, different setting, I feel like. I know I recommend a lot of small town, but this one's so fun. And I'm particularly excited because I've been talking a lot about Paper Hearts, which is the second book in the Off the Book series by Kay. But Paper Hearts follows Charlie, who is the sister of the FMC in Selfie. And in Selfie, you're watching her raise Charlie because their mom unfortunately passed. And so Charlie is a child in Selfie, and then you get to watch her love story in Paper Hearts, which is so fun. And getting to watch the MMC from Selfie be like dad. Whew, love it. Love it. So good. So that's a fun, complete one from Kay. Astor Creek series by Molly Goins. Small town series following sisters. And the first 2 book is Boss's Daughter, because their dad's the police chief, which is really fun. And it's neighbors to lovers in the first one with a little bit of romantic suspense, actually, which It's super fun. It's Feel It All. And then Bring It All is if you like a grumpy guy, I got one for you. Grumpy single guardian to his niece. Hate to love dynamic. Really, really fun. And then Despite It All, my boy Jet. Oh, I love him. It's Secret Baby done the most beautiful way. Baseball romance. And once he finds out that he has a daughter and that he finally found the girl that he met in Nashville all those years ago, he's not giving up on either of them. And we love to see it. We love Jet Ellison in this house. So check out Aster Creek, all available on Kindle Unlimited. I think everything I've talked about so far is on Kindle Unlimited. And she's a Kindle Unlimited girl. What can I say? I like to use my Kindle Unlimited subscription. And what? Oh, another one that I really, really enjoyed is Jenna Lockwood's Billionaire series. It was so gripping to me. Let me look up the name so that you don't have to wonder. It is the Siblings of Air series. Yes. Okay, it's all coming back to me. Just the whole series is like so angsty and a little bit messy in a like interesting way, and the characters aren't perfect, which I loved. I love seeing the realness of the conflict that brought. Blurry Little Lines is a friends with benefits. She's a nurse, he's a billionaire romance. She kind of opposite sides of the track, and she's kind of hiding her past from him. So that's really interesting. And then Never Till Now is a brother's best friend. She's the millionaire romance. And she is amidst a really unfortunate divorce. And so her brother's best friend, who also just happens to be a dear friend of hers, is stepping up for her. And they're falling for each other, of course. And there's a wild plot twist about 50% through this. And you better lock in, honey. You better lock in. You can do your research before if you want spoilers on that, but oh my gosh. And then the way she kind of has to navigate the plot twist, and how difficult it is for her. Crazy. And then Fate and Fiction. Fake dating. Both of them come from very well-off families. Billionaire, or at least millionaire. And he's the CEO of the family company now, and she's actually a book talker or like bookish influencer, which is really, really fun to see. I'm like, is this play about us? And yeah, he's kind of like gallivanted across the world and definitely a reformed playboy, and then she's the total opposite. And so how that dynamic plays out between them, it's like, will he ever have real feelings for her? And has she lived enough to be in a relationship? And it's like, it's complicated and it's beautiful. And they're billionaires and we love it. So check out Siblings of Air. It's complete, little trilogy as well. I'm loving a trilogy lately. A little 1, 2, 3. Nothing beats it. Just like, I think it's just long enough. Now, don't get me wrong. I love a 6-book series. I do. I love a 6-book series. I love feeling at home when we return back to a world that we know. But there's something about a trilogy that's hitting for me lately. So, yeah. Claps and cheers for trilogies. I would love to know what your favorite completed series is. Add it to my TBR. What am I missing? Y'all tell me. Shoot me a DM. Let me know. I am really, really excited for the series that are going to come our way this year. The series we talked about in the last episode to come to an end, to be wrapped up. So we'll definitely have to do an update episode in a year or so with some of these incomplete series that have turned complete. But I'm really excited for next week's episode. It's a little bit of a surprise, so stay tuned for that. But I'd love to hear from you. If you made it all the way here, shoot me a DM. Let me know what you're reading. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you as always for spending your time with me. And I'll see you in the next one.